Arizona, homeowner's best friend.
Point I just thought about when you were talking about starting with starts. Something else that could do, we see this so often, somebody gets started and it's really easy to go overboard. When you're starting from seed, and like it takes a couple weeks to get going. Well, you get something going, you want to see some results now.
Right.
So all of a sudden, you end up planting 2, 3, 4 times more than you needed to, and we'll turn around and your 10-minute a day routine in the garden is now 90 minutes. That isn't a bad thing, but you may not be able to keep up with it consistently.
Yes.
Some portions might suffer, weeds come in. So starting with starts to kind of get you into that production a little bit faster, and then maybe next planting season or 2 or 3 seasons down the road, if you want to go into sowing your own seeds and planting from scratch and heirlooms, get into that. But starting with starts your first time, I think is a great way to maybe break that cycle, because a lot of those people get burned out.
Exactly. And that's
when
what we call
you go overboard.
Yeah, we call it binge gardening. They had this great inspiring moment and they want to just plant everything. And so they're just going to go and plant a bunch of stuff, and then they overwhelm themselves. And so that's binge gardening. So what we recommend is more routine gardening, where you can make it a regular part of your day or a part of your week, find your cycle, find your, and then you implement all the parts of growing a garden within that time frame. So every piece, so it's like I'm preparing a little bit of soil, and maybe I divide my time. So let's say I've got 15 minutes a week to grow my garden, and that I can maintain that. And if I got 15 minutes, well, I'm going to spend 15 minutes prepping soil, 15 minutes planting starts, or 5 minutes planting soil or prepping the soil, 5 minutes planting starts, and 5 minutes watering and caring for it. So there's my 15 minutes. I got 5 minutes of each component. Now, if I just keep that process, I'm never going to be able to grow more than I can handle. Because the next day I'm going to be moved over a little bit more, planting now prepping a new area, planting a new area, and then caring for all of it again. And I can kind of back an overview. And then as I do that, what's going to happen is that as a couple weeks down the road, I've got stuff I can start harvesting, and that's part of my care cycle. And then I've got things that have just started. And then as I keep doing that process, I'm going to never overburden myself if I keep a routine like that. So that's the type of routine that I'm talking about. That's a very committed, very specific type routine that will ensure that you never overwhelm or underwhelm your involvement in the garden. And that's another way to grow your own health. It's like, and if you get crazy like me, you might even integrate some physical activity and intentionally create gardens that require more physical labor just for the garden body routine, So rather than going to the gym, I'm working in my garden a little bit more, getting that type of a workout.
Rosie on the house, every Arizona homeowner's best friend.